Today I have with me author Michael Samuels, and I can't believe I'm talking to him. He has been such a huge part of my life in these last couple of years, and he is the author of Just Ask the Universe.
Am I supposed to put these out?
There we go. Just Ask the Universe. The University. I'm doing them in order, Michael. There we go. University, yeah. And then Keep Calm and Ask On. And when Keep Calm and Ask On came out, I almost cried because I was like, oh my God, he's still writing books. So thank you, Michael, for continuing to write books.
My pleasure. My pleasure. I'm writing a lot more books than my spiritual books. I don't know if you know, I don't know if the audience knows, but Just Ask the Universe has taken me on this journey that I kind of never expected to be on. It was just a passion of mine. I always loved to write. And I followed the steps in Just Ask the Universe because I lived my life by Just Ask the Universe. And I became this self-published author. And I'm not trying to hawk these books because I'm not supposed to. But I write under this alias called Michael Philip Cash. And I self-published 14 books under this other pseudonym, all thriller, paranormal. And right now, one of my books was picked up by an agent. I'm now represented by the largest entertainment attorney in the entertainment industry. I have a film agent. I have a literary agent. And I have a call with one of the largest production companies in 3 weeks to turn one of my books into something I'm not allowed to say because my attorney told me I'm not allowed to tell people. Right. But I'm telling you that literally this was the first book I ever wrote in my life. And everything that's happening in my life right now is all a manifestation of the rules that I did in Just Ask the Universe. It was easy, but it just took a long time. If you could understand what that means. It was so easy to get to this point, but it takes forever. And the rejections and the constant no. I'm a self-published author, and the people that have reached out to me on Just Ask the Universe has been, mind-blowing. You in particular. I'm so glad that I wrote this because it just worked. And I hear people like you. That is the biggest, I guess, I'm so humbled by, people like yourself that can really resonate with the words that I wrote and that have worked for me. So it's been a fun journey so far. If
I would have known, I would have read them, but I did not know that.
I'll send them all to you. I'll send them all to you.
Awesome. Yeah. I would love that. And I have to tell you how I kind of came upon you. 2011, my mom died. Okay. I was a Christian my whole life, did everything, youth, everything. Okay. Raised. And I heard you talk about this in another interview. That's why I'm going there. Before she died, I was in charge of her care. She had hospice half-time, and I had her part-time. Now, she was young. She was like 63. But my dad had died in 1988. He was very young of the same exact cancer. And so I'm alone with her in my living room in a bed. She's in a bed in my dining room, actually. And she says to me, can you just tell your dad that I'm not going with him tonight? Yep. And I was alone. I was like, do you need more morphine? And she was like, Michelle, he is standing right next to you. And I've told him so many times today. And I just want you to tell him, please, that it's not tonight. And I was like, okay. I was like, because I kind of believed her. It's my mom. I'm like going, oh my God, maybe she does. I've kind of heard about things like this. Maybe it's true. Maybe she can see something that I can't see. And then as her journey, that was her last week alive, but different things she said had me believing that this God, this thing, it's not the end. Yeah. There's something there. She's not, I didn't have to be scared anymore of what was going to happen to her. She was going to be okay. She believed she was going with him. I kind of believed it. What do you think?
What do I think? You are talking to the biggest believer in spirituality, afterlife, the universe, energy. I'm gonna plug one book, not my book. There's this book called Our Ultimate Reality by Adrian Cooper. Mind-blowing stuff. It is the Bible on spirituality. Write it down.
Okay.
Our Ultimate Reality. It's in my bookshelf back there. All my favorite books are in the upper right corner. Mind-blowing book. It's the Bible. I have a strong feeling, and I don't know how many people are going to be listening to this. Your mother is trying to get a message out to you today, right now, and that's why you connected with me. You have to, and I'm not getting paid for any of this. I don't get paid by Adrian Cooper, and I'm not going to get paid from anyone else that I'm about to say.
I get paid for this.
No, I'm definitely not getting paid for this. You have to go to Google and look up George Anderson, The Medium.
I've heard of George Anderson, but I've never heard of
George Anderson is the gold standard when it comes to mediums. He's not a charlatan. He's a very private guy. And my family and I go to him once a year, once every couple of years. And your mom and your father are trying to get a message to you. It's a little pricey, but there is your life before you have a reading with George Anderson, and there's your life after you have a reading with George Anderson. You can do it by phone. You can come to Long Island. He does seminars. I'm sorry?
He's in Long Island.
He's in Long Island. He's in Comac. Okay. And, you know, last time I was with him about 2 years ago. I had a reading. You're not talking to George Anderson. You're hearing from your loved ones who've passed on. Mm-hmm. So I know this stuff isn't fake.
Right.
It's just not. It's not. The stuff that he's told me. He told me about my writing career before I put a pen to a paper. He knew about the movie deal before anything that was ever happening, before this phone call is even going to be happening. He knew about all this because my grandmother, who passed in 2005, was in that room, the same room your mom was in the same circumstances. And she saw my grandfather and she said, I'm crossing over with him. You have to see this guy, or if you're a big reader, you should pick up Ask George Anderson. It's on Amazon.
How do you know that they have a message? How can you tell that?
Because you and I are connected.
Oh, okay.
Because you and I connected. Because you would have never reached out to me. There's this underlying, the energy, the universe. We're all connected, and to hear from the afterlife. My grandmother told me before she passed, I'm going to leave you one symbol. It was really my mom, but it was my mom and I are very close. Right. And she told me too, I'm going to leave you one symbol. And that symbol's going to be red feathers. And when you see red feathers, you know you're headed in the right direction. And
wow.
Everywhere I go, where I'm headed, there's a cardinal, there's red feathers. Give you a quick example. We wanted to buy a vacation home, my family and I, my wife and I. We wanted to buy a vacation home. And we were looking south in Florida, right? We're New Yorkers. We hate the winter here. And we wanted a place that we can go to that's inexpensive, that we can go where the kids are going to have a good time. And I was watching Mickey Mouse Clubhouse with my kids. And I said to my grandma, I said, you know, Grandma, I used to call her Zop. I said, Grandma, Zop, Carol, where should we buy this house? What should we do? And I'm watching Mickey Mouse, and a red bird is on screen, dancing back and forth. It's like the bird march, or they're trying to find the red bird. And I said, Orlando. I said, let's go get homes in Orlando. Wow. And my wife and I built, and I wrote this down. I wrote this down years ago, and I had no idea. I didn't even remember I wrote it down. I wrote it down that I wanted to have a house 10 minutes from Disney World because we're Disney people. We love Disney. Yep. And I went with my brother and his family, my mom and dad. We went and we bought homes in Orlando, 10 minutes from the parks. And we had our first family vacation there in April. And it was heaven.
Wow.
And the symbols I got from the afterlife, the ideas that I wrote down from learning from Just Ask the Universe, and commanding my subconscious mind, it's infallible. It can't fail. It works. And I get emails from people, you know, it didn't work for me. My life is depressing. It's so boring. And like I say to people, I'm like, all right, so in this 2-minute email that you wrote me, you've written the words depressed, boring, annoying, stupid, painful, low money. I'm like, do you expect it's going to work for you if you're going to be listing off all these things? And they always write back, you know what, you're right. Let me change my attitude. And once they change their attitude, I don't know, everything just starts manifesting in their life. It's not rocket science. It's so easy.
Well,
And I know I digress, but
that's okay, because here's what happened. So, I told you, and so she dies in 2011. My son finds you. He's a younger teenager at that point. He finds
sure.
you. He says, "Mom, you got to read this book. You got to read
Well,
this book." So I did, and I was like, "Oh my God!" Like, it opened up, and then I started listening to Abraham, Esther Hicks.
oh,
Love that. But anyway, so my mom dies in 2011. My son and his wife experience a miscarriage to my first grandchild, and unbeknownst, so I go see this medium woman that somebody recommended to me. And I just walk in, there's nobody there. There's like 2 other people there. Don't talk to her before, She says to me, "Your mom's talking to me through." And I was like, okay, she had just died. So it was kind of, my mom was into this stuff. She was into it all. And I was the Christian. But anyway, I was the one telling her, like, "You're crazy." But anyway, she said, "Your mom wanted me to tell you, you just lost a grandchild, but you're going to have a lot of grandchildren. No worries." Within 2 years, I had 7 grandchildren.
Love it. Love it. It's the truth.
And how did she know? I didn't say a word about losing this grandchild. And, and it was like, I was like, okay, we'll see. And I'm like, how did my mom know? Like, and then I was like saying to myself, like, I wish you would have known them. And I kind of heard in my head her going, "Are you crazy? I knew them way before you knew them."
Right. It was the same thing with me. Yeah. George Anderson knew, this guy, this medium knew. He knew I was going to have a son. He knew I was going to have a daughter.
Really?
He knew. He kept saying, "They're coming in twos. They're coming in twos. They're coming in twos." My son, my niece, my daughter, and my nephew, we have 4 kids between our families, are all 2 years apart. And he said, he told me when I was in college, he's like, "They're all going to be in twos." So I thought I was having twins. I thought I was going to have 2 boys, 2 girls. And we have 2 boys and 2 girls in the family. It really, there's something more to it. I don't believe that whole thing of, when you're dead, you're dead. It's like a TV. Once the TV dies, it's off. No, there's still channels on that TV. You just can't see it. Your body may be that TV, but there's something going on up here. And I'm really, this journey. I'm telling you, read Our Ultimate Reality. It was incredible. I don't know what you call it, yearly rabbit mark, whatever. Right. I turned the pages in, and that whole book is just, every single page is just turned. Incredible read.
So how did you figure out, this is the questions I've always wanted to ask you,
sure.
Especially, and I just listened to you, Just Ask the Universe again, because I was like, I've listened to it, but I was like, since I'm interviewing, I want to hear it again, because that to me was the one that spoke to me. Okay, because it is a lot of what Esther says. I love Esther. I buy everything new of hers, and you and her speak the same language when it comes to this stuff. And how did you figure out that it's the writing down? Because she's a big writer. She writes down. I don't know if you know that about her, but she's a journaler, and she writes and writes and writes. And how did you know? How did you know that the writing was where the energy was coming from? It isn't just about,
That's a really insightful question. It's a really good question. I wasn't born this way. Like, I wasn't born, I could just write it down and make it happen. It's not like that at all. The journey started with Anthony Robbins. I got to give that man all the credit in the world, because Anthony, I was all into business in my 20s, trying to build my business and everything, help my family business. And Anthony Robbins, it was like day 14 or 15 of the program. And he's like, "We're going to write down our goals." And really what I've learned is, and people get like angry about it. They go, "Why do you say I want? Why do you want something?"
Right. Next question.
When you write something down, Napoleon Hill says it. Wallace Waddle says it.
Yes.
Anthony Robbins. Anthony Robbins was the first guy where I wrote everything down on my list. And I'm telling you, Michelle, I wrote down things. And I'm going to give you the example in Just Ask the Universe. I wrote down that I want to fly on a private plane. All right. Like, let me tell you, when I wrote this down, it would be like saying I want to be the president of the United States. Like, it was so far from where I was at that time. And just 3 years later, I flew on a private plane from Vegas to New York. And I looked at my journal and I wrote it down 3 years ago. And I'm like, my God, it works. It comes true. I wrote down what I wanted my wife to look like. It all comes true. Something happens. And I don't know if I have that answer, but something happens when you write down your goal. Because that's really what it is. People go, "Why do you say you want? That means you're lacking." Exactly. You don't have what you want if you're writing it down.
Right.
I want a home in Orlando. I wrote that down. I didn't have it. It wasn't showing I lacked it. It showed I have an absolute goal on what I want in life. And when you write it down, it's like this. It's like you light a spark. And I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know how it works. When you write it down, there's something tangible to work with.
Hmm.
Then when you start acting out on that goal, like you just can't say, all right, I want, a home in Orlando and just sit and just never work towards getting a home in Orlando.
You want it to come to you somehow,
You got to look at real estate. You got to, some things happen magically, right?
Right.
I wouldn't be having this supposed deal that I'm hopefully going to be having in a few weeks with this book that I wrote. That I got a 2-book publishing deal with this book I wrote. I don't know. It's just you write it down and it just sets like the wheels in motion. The universe knows exactly what you want, and it's a positive goal. What I've learned, Wallace Waddle says it. The universe wants to give you everything you want. You think that lack is good. Lack is good.
Right.
No. Like it takes the same amount of energy to say I don't have it than to say I have it. I want it. I know exactly what I want in life, and that's really what it was. It was Anthony Robbins. I wrote down all my goals. Nothing happened the first year. Nothing happened the second year. And the third year I accomplished, I pretty much think everything on my list. Everything. It was like 90%, a few years ago. Now it's like 100% of everything I ever wanted when I wrote that down. And God, it was like 2001. 2002 I wrote that stuff down. And it all came true. And I have 35, no, I'm sorry. I have about over 50,000 wants on this one document I have on my computer. And it's just everything I want. And I go back constantly and I see what I have and I see what I want. And I just constantly set new goals for myself. And again, people write me all the time, why do you say you want? That means you lack. No, it's just a goal that you're setting for yourself and what you want in life.
Right.
Once you want it, you go out, you get it, you have it. So what's next? It's every day is a new want.
Yeah, and I do remember there are some people out there, because I'd read a lot of books about this, and they'll say, well, write that you have it, right? So I started doing that, and I was like, I just felt like I was lying to myself.
Yeah.
I have a red Corvette in my driveway. I'm like, no, I don't. And then I have, and I was like, lying.
There is a key to that. There is a key to that. And I'm going to use the Orlando home as a for instance. I wanted a home in Florida. I wanted a home by Disney World. I wrote it down. I worked towards that goal, and I got it. But if you say I have it, it doesn't. You got to believe that you're going to get it.
Right.
I think that's where people kind of get confused. Where I'm going to get a home in Orlando. I know it's going to happen. I don't know when it's going to happen, but it is going to happen. And it just does. Where people go, I have a home in Orlando, I have a home in Orlando, I have a home in Orlando, and it never happens. You go, oh, this stuff doesn't work, it's garbage. Well, no, write down your goal.
Right.
And work towards that goal, and it just happens. It's so weird. Napoleon Hill said this great thing that when you ask your subconscious mind, it other people in the ether hear it. So like if you say, here's for instance, I wanted a literary agent so badly to get this book published, not just Ask the Universe, but my other book. It's called Monsterland.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted this book to be published. So I asked my subconscious, I wrote it down. I asked my subconscious, and I got a literary agent, and he's one of the best guys in the literary world. What did you
do? What did you do to get him?
Well, you're gonna freak out. This is mind blowing to me as a writer and as someone who loves to write. So what happened was I was reading a book called How to Sell a Screenplay in Hollywood. It was like a book from 1986. They were talking about Top Gun is the new movie coming out. Right. We're talking like old, like Tom Cruise. Okay.
Right.
And there was a woman in it. I don't want to reveal her name because she's my entertainment attorney. I can't. There was a woman in it. And I said, if I ever get a contract one day, I'm going to write this woman. I'm going to say to her, I need help with my publishing contract. I was self-published. So I get this email from this guy in London. Who says, I want to represent you. I want to represent your books, your Michael Philip Cash books. That was my other alias. And I said, okay, send me a contract. It was 2 months after I read that book. And I wrote it down. I want an agent. I want an entertainment attorney. So he sends me this contract like this big. I don't read contracts. I write fun stories. I write self-help spirituality. I don't read contracts. So I emailed this lawyer and I said, hello, ma'am. My name is Michael and I'm a writer. I have 14 self-published books. I have 3 best-selling self-help books that have helped people all over the world. I have an agent that wants to represent my books. Would you represent me? She calls me 30 seconds later. Now, this is one of the biggest entertainment attorneys in Hollywood. She put some of the best known shows on TV. And I'm telling you, like, the shows.
Right.
All right. Can't say it on record, but
right.
You know the shows. She got them on air and all over the world. So she calls me and she says, before you sign with this guy in London, let me set you up with one of my friends in New York City. You're a New Yorker. Let me set you up with a guy in New York. She introduced me to this guy named Nick, who runs a literary agency in Brooklyn. I have lunch with him the week after, and he signs me. I have a literary agent. I literally just wrote it down on a piece of paper. I commanded my subconscious mind, and I'm reading a book on how to sell a script in Hollywood, and I contacted the woman who was in this book 30 years ago. I found her on Google, and I said, hi, my name is Michael. I'm a writer. I have a really good catalog, and I'm looking for an entertainment attorney to help me read contracts. She signs me. He signs me. And then 6 months after he signs me, he gets me a 2-book publishing deal and a film agent because they're talking movie rights.
You can't make it up.
I can't make this up.
But
and it was literally, I'm not trying to hawk this book. I swear to God.
I know.
But it was literally from every single step in here. That's all I did was just follow whatever I wrote. I wrote this in 2011, which just blows my mind because it was, what are we in 2017? It was 6 years ago I wrote Just Ask the Universe, and it still rings true today. When you read something, you go, oh, it's so outdated.
I just listened to it again. I'm like, this stuff is still,
it's so current.
It's still relevant because it's
right.
basic. And what I was thinking, Michael, is that maybe it's so basic that we think there's no way this can work. Our minds are like, it's so easy that we want it complicated. We want 50 steps on how to get what you want. We don't want, that you write it down and you meditate on it, or you at least, okay, let me tell you this weird, wacky story. And this is before I ever believed any of this. When I was a little girl, I had this, remember the Sears catalog that used to come with the Christmas book, right? Okay, at the back of the book, it used to have pajamas, family pajamas. I have one brother. But in the back, they'd show families, big families. And I said to myself, well, I'm going to pretend that I have the Brady Bunch because I want the Brady Bunch because the Brady Bunch was big. And I pretended I had 6 kids. And I would mark off pajamas, right? Every year of my childhood, right? It was fun. I thought it was great. I'm shopping in Old Navy. I have 6 children. Never occurred to me that I did this, but I'm shopping in Old Navy and I'm like, I want to get them matching pajamas. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to buy matching pajamas. And as I'm shopping, I'm like, oh, you already did this. You already did this.
I know.
When you were a child. I already planned for my 6 children that I didn't have because I was a little girl. And those 6 children were not playing. I wasn't set. I wasn't I'm going to have 6 children. It happened. It took a long time. They're spaced out, but it happened. And I shopped for pajamas for these 6 children.
No, I know. And you do it even subconsciously. And
it was did I know it or did I plan it? Did I know it as a little girl or was I planning it?
I think it was both. I think it's both. I think ultimately we all know what we want in life. And I think that everyone's pretty clear with what they want. And when they work towards that goal, when you feel like you're working, it doesn't feel like work. When you're having fun at work, it doesn't feel like work. Writing to me, writing is a full-time job to me. I love to write. I have stories to tell. And, that doesn't seem like work, where if you ask my brother, who is a computer guy, right? I didn't even know how to get Skype up. Right. I just learned how to log on to Skype, right? I'm not a computer guy, but my brother's a computer guy. And if you tried to trade places with us, I mean, he would go crazy. But you know what? If you tried to tell me, go build a website, or
You'd be like,
go build a database, or a new computer system, it's like, I'm good. That's not what I like. And you ask my brother, who loves computers, who loves building things like that, he says to him, it's not work. And when you're working towards something and it's fun, it's not work.
And so, and that's another key to it, though. Okay, so you're writing it down, but it has to be kind of it can't be in this like force. It has to be kind of in a very fun, like I was sitting down the other day. I'm like, I'm going to start. I went and bought a new journal. I'm like, I'm going to do this again because you get caught up, you don't do it.
Absolutely.
I'm like, why did I stop doing this? And so I got a new journal. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do what he said, because I watched one of your interviews and I'm like, I wasn't making it fun enough. I really wasn't. I was being way too intense in 2011 about it, and I needed to make it more fun.
Right. So I got to tell you, the story I just told you about me getting a literary agent, an entertainment attorney, and a film agent. Like, I did it through email. Like, and I didn't have to. I didn't have to force anyone to take me on as their client. It all happened naturally.
And like fly to LA and bang on doors and
No. Well, all right. So here's the deal with that. That's an interesting dichotomy, because you know what, like, so the universe will let things happen naturally, right? And you're only going to get it when you're supposed to get it. But you can't be lazy about it. You can't be, bored about it. You got to work. I mean, I built a company, I'm going to tell you, in the city of Las Vegas, which is the hardest city in the world to build a business.
Right.
The regulations, the employees, it's a tough crowd. And it's my favorite city in the world. And the people there are great, but it's a tough city for regulation. So, when you're trying to build your business, it's not as so cut and dry. So you got to go bang on doors. You can't just sit and let the business come to you. I mean, yeah, there are instances like this like this book thing that it kind of came to me. I mean, it took a few years, but when it comes to getting clients or building a business, or here's a huge thing, health. I'm a health nut. I'm very big into health. One whole shelf back there is dedicated to just the diet that I'm on, and I don't want to digress too much, but you got to work for that. You can't just sit and let life happen to you. You got to write it down, command your subconscious mind, and live your life like you're going to get it. You will get it, but you got to work for it. And that's where action, to take action for that thing that you want is the most important thing. What if I wasn't reading that book on how to sell a screenplay, right? What if I never wrote this attorney in California? What if I just said, oh, I'm just going to let it come to me? It doesn't work like that, So...
Well, what was interesting is when I first started doing this back in January, I wanted to interview authors. That was the goal, because I thought that would be fun, because I'm a reader. Yep. So I wanted to do that. And somebody said to me, well, what do you want to do with this? I said, I want to be the Oprah of interviewing authors, right? Because she used to interview one a month, but us readers, we read more than one book a month. So that never satisfied me. So I was like, I want to do one every day. Well, now I'm doing 2 or 3 a day.
Love it.
But somebody said, so one of the people I interviewed wrote me back and said, well, did you contact Oprah yet? And I was like, well, I didn't mean I wanted to contact Oprah, but I just wanted to be, but I'm paying for this, I pay my son to edit these, okay? Right. I buy the books, and I don't do ads. I don't do anything like that. this is what I want to do. I'm having fun. I love interviewing authors. But would it be fun to make money doing it? That could be fun.
Of course, there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
My mom is a best-selling children's author.
Nice.
And she has about 50, 60 books out.
Wow.
And she just started her own magazine, and she's interviewing authors too. Her name is Carol P. Roman. You can't miss her on Amazon. She has tons of books on Amazon. She self-published everything.
Nice.
But yeah, no, she does exactly what you're doing, and it really is a passion.
Yeah.
And it's what you want in life. And I say to my mom, I'm like, do you want an agent? Do you want to take your stuff to Hollywood? And she goes, no, I'm so happy with, my indie readers and indie authors and the self-publishing world. She self-published a book on how to write a book,
nice.
It's called Navigating the Indie World.
I need to talk to her.
Yeah, no, we're all writers in the family. We're all writers. My son, who's 9, he self-published his own book called Whaley's Big Adventure when he was 5 years old,
And there are tons of them to be found, and they're so appreciative because they love talking about their stuff. And
I'm going to introduce you to my mom. I'm going to introduce you to my mom. I'm going to do an introduction. She's the coolest lady in the world.
That's awesome.
She's a publicist. She does all the publicity for all of my...
I love talking, but any kind of writers or people involved in the writing world. But so I started making, my lists, and I started to, I'm starting again, and I... So your second step, just for everybody out there, and I do want everybody to get this book because you have to read this book. You have great stories. You're an awesome writer. And, but I love so when you flip it, you're like, now think about what you have received.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're not going to get anything if you're not grateful. If you're not going to be that person who's like, or if you're going to be a person who's like, I want I want a publishing deal with one of my books. Well, okay. Well, that's great. We all want a publishing deal with our books. And, what makes you grateful to even wanting to get that? Well, then you got a list of what you're grateful for. I mean, I'm so grateful. Just Ask the Universe was my first book I ever wrote. And I'm so grateful that it affected this many people. It's no coincidence that like my writing career is taking off in ways that I kind of never expected that are bigger than what I wanted them to be, which I'm fine with because that's always how the universe works. If you ask for 10, it's always going to give you 20.
Right.
But I feel that, what you have right now, you got it using the universe, right? You got it, the roof over your head, that really pretty picture in the background, all those books on your shelf, that refrigerator that I look like I'm a magnet stuck to because my Skype photos, like, the Skype video is like right on your. No, leave it back. There's beer in there that's good. You might want to open it or something. But no, so I feel that being grateful is like kind of the link, right, to get you where you have to go. If you're gonna go through life and be miserable, then you may still get what you want, but you're not going to be grateful for it. So getting to this point where you are in your life, doesn't matter if you're 10 years old, 20 years old, 30 years old, or 40 years old. You have to know that you got everything in your life because of your past thoughts. You have to be grateful for that. Even if your life isn't where you want it to be. You still have to be grateful for that breakfast that you had this morning. Mm-hmm. You got to be grateful for that car that you're getting into to drive to work. You got to be grateful for that really good book that you read last night. Because it'll speed things up quicker for you. And like you have this effervescent light, like you are full of light. You have this glow to you. You're this shining being. I'm talking about you, Michelle. I'm not talking about. You look like a grateful person to begin with. Like you don't look like someone who's just like this miserable SOB who's like, no, life isn't the way I want it to be, and and if it is, that's good because you can recognize it. Mm-hmm. But the solution to that is to be grateful for where you are at this point and getting everything to where you have to be because you have the chance for your life to change. And being grateful is the first step to do it,
Yeah, and I think about I'm 52 now.
Are you really? Oh my God, you look great.
No, thank you. And I'm single again. Okay, I've been through a divorce and all of that. And people say to me like, "Well, aren't you worried? Aren't you worried about?" And I'm like, "Oh my God." I watched my mom worry her whole. When she was dying, I was like, wow, she spent so much energy worrying and it didn't stop it. Worrying does not prevent anything from happening, And I was like, I am not going to, if I die tomorrow, it is not going to be because I spent yesterday worrying about when that was going to happen. And I just choose not to worry. Like, I just don't. I don't know what's going to happen. I got no idea,
Worry is a wasted emotion.
Right.
Worry is a wasted emotion. It doesn't mean anything, know? Like, do you worry? Like, sure, you don't want anything bad to happen to your kids. Like, you want, things to be okay with everyone. You don't want sickness on anyone. But you know what? Like, why worry? Because there's a solution for everything. Right. It's as simple as that.
Right. And that's, that, and your books promote that kind of, like I said, once you realize that this is not we're not just lucky. I used to always think that. I swear, like back in my youth, I used to be like, well, there are these lucky people.
No.
Okay. No. And then there are these unlucky people, and us unlucky people are just going to have to work harder than the lucky people, No. But it is not like that. It really isn't. And when I really got that, when I really understood that it wasn't luck that was happening, that I think that people really believe that, especially when you say you get letters from people, you know, they're like, they're just down, and you read it and you're like, I'm already depressed. I can't even deal with it. You know?
There is, I'm putting this on record now, and it's in the university. It's in the book that I wrote at the university. There is no such thing as luck. No such thing as luck. I don't believe it one bit. I've never played the lottery in my life. I like to gamble. I do like to gamble. I love to play poker. I love to play craps.
Right.
But no such thing as luck. Doesn't exist.
Right.
There's no way. Luck, you know, your experiences bring you to the good luck. You know, you opening the doors bring you to that luck. That people say, oh, it's good luck. It's a bunch of baloney. I don't believe it at all.
Right. So, and you went out on a little bit about karma, and I loved what you said about it when you were talking on one of the YouTube interviews, and because I haven't ever heard it in such a way. Usually people are scared, like you should be scared of karma, like scared, you know, but I loved how you described it. So can you like tell us how you...
Karma, so, you know, we all have karma, right? We all have to answer to our actions and our deeds. And look, you know, I know this is cliche, and I know it's like, you know, very, very basic, but like really what you put out is what you get back, you know? And if you're going to be a negative Millie, and you're going to be miserable, and you're going to treat people unfairly and unkind, yeah, it's going to come back to you. It's literally that simple. If you're a good person and you want good for others and you give, my mom, who's my publicist, who handles, you know, all of my book sales, she gives my book out for free. She just goes to the hair salon. Oh, you know, my son's an author. Read his book. Oh, you're in self-help. My son's a self-help author. You know, read his book. And the more she gave out, another 100 books were sold. And I didn't do this for the money.
Yeah, I truly believe that. I truly do.
I didn't do this for the money. I didn't do this for the money. Just Ask Universe, I'm like not plugging it. It's 99 cents on Kindle. Like,
right.
I did not do this for them. If I could have made it free permanently, I would have done that. I don't care about that, because the more you give people, the more you teach people what works for you, the more you want to help people who want to be helped. There's a difference between wanting to help people and preaching. I don't want to come off as preach saying, you better do this, you better do this. The more I gave out in the last 6 years, it literally comes back to you over and over and over again in tenfold. You know, yeah, some days aren't rosy. Like, you know, we have a family business. We lost a really big account this year, but, you know, we just landed another huge account last week. So it's not a karma thing with that. It's just, you know, it's a cycle in everything. You got to be grateful. Grateful is the first thing for karma. I have this big thing. I don't know if you can see it.
I can see it. An attitude of gratitude.
Attitude of gratitude brings great things. I read that every single time I have to see my in-laws. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I do read that, but no, it's, you know, an attitude of gratitude brings great things. It literally is simple like that. If you're grateful and you give good out, like if you give, I don't want to say charity, because it's not charity. Charity begins at home for me. It's not about giving to charity. It's about just taking care of people and being grateful for it. Not doing it saying, oh, I'm going to get a good return on this. It's just taking care of people. It really is like some, I don't want to sound like very kumbaya, because it's not. It's not like that. It's just, you know, I wrote a book. I give it away at the cheapest price I can because I don't care about the money. And it's all coming back to me tenfold, bigger and better than I ever could have thought it could happen with me. You know, that's the only thing.
You know who also did that was Wayne Dyer.
Love him.
His first book, he put a bunch in the back of his truck and then handed them out, or his car, or whatever. Drove around, handed them out.
I'll up you one. I don't know if you're into rap from the 80s, but I, you know, as a Long Islander born, you know, in the 80s, it's kind of like a rite of passage to love Run DMC and the Beastie Boys and everything. Right. I read Russell Simmons' autobiography. Biography. Yes. And he said to start Def Jam Records, him and Rick Rubin would give cassettes for free. At all the clubs, and he would give, you know, this is a new artist, Run DMC, there's a new artist, Beastie Boys, and he would just give out, and he goes, the more we gave out, 100-fold would come back to us. That's karma. You know, that's what karma is. Also, I'm writing a new book now. It's taken me a bit because I've been dealing with the novels, but I am writing another book. I might title it Self-Help Junkie. I'm not sure yet. It's kind of like a preview. Right. But I am saying on tipping. I feel that our culture is lost on tipping. Yes. And I'm not talking about here's a tip, you know. Right. Talking about, you know, if someone gases up your car, yeah, throw them $2, throw them $5. You're at a restaurant and the service is okay, tip them well. Because I've learned that the more you tip, just the more money you make. I can't explain it.
Oh my God. Okay, so I have this thing I do in my head, okay? And I'm not even kidding. I was thinking about this last night because I didn't realize that I was doing this, but I'm talking to you about, I knew I was talking to you.
Right.
And I was like, I don't know if it's going to work. At the end of my life, somebody can tell me how that worked for me.
Right.
But when I spend money, you know how everybody's like, you got to save money, you got to save money, you got to put money away.
No.
When I spend money, instead of subtracting it, I add it in my head. Yeah. Now, I know I can't add it, because then I will be bouncing things. But in my head, I'm like, the amount I spend, I'm increasing especially if it's to an author that I'm buying their book, I've just increased my net worth. And I look at that, I take my kids out to dinner, I just increase. Whenever I spend on anyone other than myself, okay, I add it to my net worth in my head.
Absolutely.
And I was like, is that? And I'm like, I gotta ask Michael. Am I crazy?
No. Look, I'm gonna give you, for instance, my brother-in-law. Nice guy, sweet guy. I asked my brother-in-law. I said, I would love a ColecoVision. Right? I'm a product of the '80s. I bought my son an Xbox One for his birthday, so we've been playing Xbox One. So my brother-in-law comes over and we're talking video games. I said, he's like, what are the older ones? I said, I love a ColecoVision. And this guy went out and he bought me and refurbished a ColecoVision, which, it was unbelievable.
Right.
And here I am. I was shopping online. I'm going to get him something, because he got me something. It's only the right thing to do to get him something. Or if you see a tchotchke for someone you like or someone you know, buy it for them. Who cares? It's $5, $10, $20. Give, because you just keep getting back.
Right.
Yeah.
I can't hold on. It's like I'm at this point in my life where I'm like, I used to live that way. Okay.
Don't go broke. Don't go broke. I want to preface something. Don't go broke.
Okay.
If you have $1 in the bank, don't say, all right, I'm going to give my last dollar to charity because I'm going to get back $1 million. It doesn't work that way. You got to worry about you too. You got to work out. It's like a diet. You got to work out constantly.
Right. Well, yeah, and who was really good about that was Florence Scovel Shin. Yeah. The game. Right, yep. She's up there. Yeah, the game of life, because that's kind of where I got it from. The game of life. It's like she always played the game because she looked at it like a game and she made it fun like a game, and that's why I do that in my head. It's a game. How am I going to increase my net worth? Well, I'm going to keep giving. That's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to,
It's a universal law. You can't.
And it feels right, and it feels so. If you're feeling it, if it feels right, it just. You just go with that. That's what I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
It makes me happy. So
absolutely.
Well, it's been so fun talking to you. I'm so grateful. And it was really weird because I had contacted you back in February, and I was like, oh, he's a busy guy. But when you got back to me, I was like, oh my God, I completely forgot. I was like, I can't believe that I wrote to him, because I was like, why did I write to him? Because I write to everybody. I don't even care if I want to talk to you. I write to you, and I completely forgot. And that was it was like a gift. It was such a gift.
I appreciate that, and I think I emailed you. I am so sorry for. I write people back immediately. This book thing was happening.
How did you find my email from then? How did it pop up?
It was there. I don't know. It was like this. It was like highlighted. I don't know. It just, I saw it. I'm like, oh my God, from February, what was I doing?
But no, I just think that it was so perfect. The timing is always perfect on those things, and the fact that you found it was the miracle of
Yeah. And I'm sorry about that. I would have.
No, don't be sorry, because to me it was like, I can't believe I wrote to him. What day did I think that he was going to say yes? When did I think that was going to happen?
Not even a question. I'm so grateful for having this opportunity. I love talking to people like yourself. I mean, you're glowing. I mean, you have this white light orb surrounding you. You're full of energy. You're full of light, and I think I think you're doing great, Michelle.
Thank you so much, and I can't wait to read your other books, and I'm so excited to read. Yeah, I will get them, and I will read anything you write, Michael. Anything. So.
Thank you.
You have a great day, and everybody, all the links will be there. They will find you. You're, Amazon, everywhere. Everybody will find you. So we will talk soon. Okay.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, John.
Okay. Talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.